Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Well, an episode of the Jack Benny program. I keep saying Jell-O again, and a lot of people point out that, at this point in time, Lucky Strike was sponsoring Jack. This episode of the Jack Benny program deals with Mother's Day. This was originally broadcast May 14th, 1950.
The Jack Benny program.
Jack Benny with Barry Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, today is Mother's Day. And in honor of that occasion, we would like to bring you a man who has been more than a mother to us. And here he is, Jack Benny.
Thank you. Hello again, this is Jack Benny talking, and Don, that was a very nice introduction. But I think you were being just a little bit overly sentimental there.
Oh, no, Jack, I meant every word of it. And you truly have been like a mother to our little group of thespians.
Oh, Don.
Donzy's right, Jackson. You've really looked out for us all these years.
Oh, gee, Phil.
We all agree on this, Jack. Dennis, hasn't Mr. Benny been like a mother to us?
Yeah, me he even spanks.
Dennis, I only did that once and you deserved it. Imagine coming over to my house and throwing a dead cat in the living room.
You said you needed violin strings.
Never mind that. Now keep quiet.
Yes, Dennis, you shouldn't act like that. After all, Mr. Benny has protected us like a brood of little chicks and sheltered us under his wing.
Don, I couldn't shelter you if I had a wing like a B-29. Believe me.
Look, Jackson, we're trying to say something nice, and you and Dennis are lousing up the mood.
We are?
Yes, Jack, maybe we've kidded you so often you don't realize how much you've helped us.
Oh, I realize I've been a great help to all of you. I know that when you came to me for sympathy, I gave it to you. And when you came to me for advice, I gave it to you. And when you came to me for money...
You gave us sympathy and advice.
Yes. I don't see any reason at all why I should give you extra money.
Who's talking about extra money? We want only what we got coming.
I can't understand you, kid. Just a little while ago, you said I was a mother hen and you were my brood of little chicks. Now, all of a sudden... Dennis, why are you staring at me?
It's the first time I ever saw a hen with glasses.
Now, cut that out and let's get on with the program. For goodness sake, you start something on this show and before you know it... Come in.
Hi, Rube.
Jack, isn't that the man who painted your house?
You ought to know you brought him over. Look, Mr. Hawkins, I'm trying to do a radio program. What do you want?
I just dropped in to tell you that I saw your show the other night in Pasadena.
You did?
Yep, pretty good show. You ought to bring it out to Calabasas.
Calabasas?
It's a pretty big place. Right now, we got 422 people.
422 people?
There's a convention in town.
Well, who's there when there isn't a convention?
Me.
Just you?
When the sun ain't shining and there's no shadow, I'm a lonely boy.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Hawkins, but my itinerary is all set.
Well, okay. Just thought it would be nice to have some entertainment. So long, Rube.
So long. Yeah, I wonder why he always calls me Rube. All right, kids, let's get on with the show. Now, we've got a lot to do tonight.
Oh, before we start, Jack, that fellow was just here reminded me of something.
What is it, Don?
I wanted to tell you that I also enjoyed your show in Pasadena.
Well, thanks. Thanks very much, Don.
Oh, it was great, Jack. And you certainly had a wonderful cast. You, Phil, Rochester, Vivian Blaine.
And don't forget Tabby.
Tabby? Who's Tabby?
The dead cat. He's Mr. Benny's A and G strings.
That's how much you know. The A string came off a total stranger. So don't be so smart.
Hey, Livy, how'd you like the way me and my orchestra stopped the show? Great, wasn't it?
You were very, very good, Phil, but there was one thing that puzzled me.
What was it, Liv?
Well, how come when the rest of the band was playing That's What I Like About the South, Frankie was playing Tiger Rag?
Well, Frankie's on strike. That's his way of picketing.
Oh, are the musicians on strike?
No, just Remley. He's mad at Jackson.
Why?
Oh, it's nothing. He's mad because I won't let him take his electric guitar on the tour. And I'm right, too. Whenever he has that thing on the stage, the whole band gathers around it.
Around his electric guitar? Why?
It makes ice cubes.
Yeah. And when he spins his guitar to be fancy, he's really mixing martinis, you know? Say, Phil, did you fix it up for Sammy the drummer to go on tour with us?
Yeah, I spoke to the board, and Sammy can leave the state provided he's in bed every night by 10.
And tell him to keep his shirt buttoned. Those numbers on his underwear look awful. And Phil, while I'm on the subject, it wouldn't hurt if some of your other musicians got to bed early, too. I'm sick and tired of you and your boys running around all night.
That's telling him, Mom.
Stop that, Dennis. Now, look, kid, it's time for your song. Now, what are you going to sing?
Well, I have something appropriate for Mother's Day.
Well, let's hear it.
Okay.
Hold it, Dennis. Come in. Yes?
Telegram for Jack Benny.
I'll take it, boy.
Hey,
Oh, just a minute. Here.
Gee, Mr. Benny, when you reached into your pocket, I expected a nickel or a dime, but I never expected this.
Well, what'd he give you?
Lint.
Get out of here.
Jack.
What?
Who's the telegram from?
Just a minute. Oh, this is cute. It's from the boys of the Beverly Hills Beavers. Listen to this, Mary. Dear Mr. Benny, our treasurer and friend, we just had a meeting and decided to send this greeting to you that should fill you with glee. God bless you and keep you, Mother McCree. Gee, isn't that sweet?
Mr. Benny.
Dennis, sing your song. Mr. Benny's crying.
Yes, ma'am.
And while Dennis sings, we'll take our break. May 14th, 1950, Jack Benny on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Two quick notes on tonight's Jack Benny program here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Number one, Dennis's song was not the only one. The other one that was done during this show was, in fact, a commercial. Jack's stage partner, Vivian Blaine, sang with the Sportsman's Quartet. And number one, it's a cigarette commercial. And number two, they used licensed music. I don't care if the sun don't shine. That still was copyright today. And number two, frank-fontaine, such a hoot as John L.C. Savoni. And, of course, you probably know him later on as Crazy Guggenheim on the Jackie Gleason show. Just a delightful entertainer and a great singer, too. May 14th, 1950, Jack Benny on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
That was Dennis Day singing Little Mother of Mine, and very good, Dennis.
I always sing good on Mother's Day.
Dennis, you sing good every day.
What have you got against Mother's Day?
Nothing. I think Mother's Day is the finest day of the year.
It's about time. It's been cloudy all week.
Oh, go sit down. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our special surprise of the evening, I'd like you to meet a young lady whom you've seen many times on the screen and will be appearing with us on our tour, Miss Vivian Blaine.
Thank you, Jack. I'm awfully glad that you invited me over today.
Well, Vivian, the reason I asked you to come over is because, you know that scene we do in our stage show. You know where you're supposed to run your hand through my hair when I'm kissing you?
Uh-huh.
Well, it was awfully embarrassing in Pasadena.
What happened, Vivian?
Well, instead of my hand going through his hair, it went under it.
Your fingernails are so sharp.
Jack, why don't you let her do the kissing scene with Phil?
Mary, that's the way it was supposed to be. But after the first rehearsal, Vivian said she'd rather do the kissing scene with me. So, Mary, you don't have to look at her as though she has two heads.
Vivian, why don't you do the scene with Phil?
Well, every time we rehearsed it, it was the same thing. He'd slip his arms around me, snuggle up close, and whisper in my ear.
Gee, what'd he whisper?
Good health to all from Rexall.
Some romantic guy. I can show him a thing or two.
I'm sure you can, Jack. But when we do the love scene, I would like to make just one request.
Certainly, Vivian. What is it?
Well, I wish you'd just put your arms around me and let our lips meet in tender embrace.
Oh.
Don't grab me and pull yourself up by my earlobes.
I'll remember that. Now, Vivian, how about doing a song?
Don, shall we tell him?
Huh?
Well, Jack, we thought we'd give you a little surprise, so I got Vivian to cook up something with the Sportsman Quartet.
Say, that's wonderful. Let's have it.
Okay?
Oh, just a minute, Don. Come in. Oh, no. No. Come back some other time, Mr.
Savoni.
Look, Mr. Savoni, I'm trying to do a program. Look, what do you want to see me about?
Well, I need a little money. And I was wondering if you could help me out.
Now, wait a minute. I don't mind giving you a handout every once in a while, and I'll stake you to a meal this time, too. But why? For heaven's sake, why don't you get yourself a job? Any kind of a job.
All I need is 10 cents so I could take a bus down to San Pedro. The man said for me to be on the bus by 6 o'clock.
To be on the bus or on the boat?
On the boat by 6
o'clock. That's different. You got yourself a job on a boat, eh?
No. I went on a quiz program and won 2 glorious weeks in Honolulu.
You won 2 glorious on a quiz program?
Mm-hmm.
I just can't believe it.
Well, I'll tell you how it happened anyway. I was walking down the street. I wasn't doing anything. Just walking down the street. I didn't feel like doing anything. So I just walked down the street and I wasn't doing anything. While I was passing a radio station, a fellow in the uniform said, "Hey, you." I said, "Who?" He said, "You." I said, "Me?" He said, "Yeah." Would you like to be on the quiz program? And while I was asking him if he could spare a dime for a cup of coffee, he takes me inside the studio, writes my name in a card, and sits me down. Ooh, so nervous. Well, I'm just sitting there. And I ain't doing anything. Just sitting there. All of a sudden, the master of ceremony says, our next contestant is Mr. Jornal Cicavoni. I said, Jornal Cicavoni, holy smoke, that's me!
I can't look at him. I can't get over your winning 2 weeks in Honolulu. What was the question?
Well, he looked at me and said, John, in geographical terminology, what is the parallel of the biological aspect of the vernal equinox?
And you answered that question?
What a lucky guess!
Well, Mr. Savoni, here's the dime, and give my regards to Hilo Hattie.
Thanks, pal. Bye.
Don, that was really a great idea you had for a commercial.
Well, thanks, Jack.
And now, kid...
Wait a minute, Jack.
Huh?
I've been thinking about that fella Savoni.
What about him?
Well, he always comes to you to help him out. Why don't you give him a job?
Well, I'd like to, Mary, but I don't need any extra help.
But, Jack, you could use him around the house as a caretaker.
Well, I've got Rochester for that.
Well, maybe you could use him as a gardener.
I've got Rochester for that, too.
Well, maybe you could use him as a night watchman.
He's got me for that.
Dennis.
I sit up on the roof with a machine gun.
Now, look, Dennis.
Get away from that lemonade stand.
Dennis, stop that! Anyway, Mary, why are you so anxious to get a job for Silvoni?
Well, Jack, of all the men I've ever seen, he's the only one that would be a perfect match for my sister Babe.
Your sister, Babe? What makes you think that they're a perfect match? I mean, what has Babe got in common with Savoni?
Well, Babe just hangs around the house. She don't do anything. She just hangs around the house. I mean, she don't feel like doing anything. She just hangs around the house. She don't feel like doing anything.
All right, you can stop with that, too. Now, kids, I got a lot of packing to do, so let's get on with... Dennis, where are you going?
To answer the door.
Nobody knocked.
No, but with this kind of a show, anything can happen.
What? How did he know? Come in.
Hello, Mr. Benny.
Well, Mr. Kitchen.
Oh, Mr. Benny, please excuse me for interrupting the proceedings, but I had to see you before you go out personally appearing.
Well, I'm glad you did.
I understand that when you finish your tour, you're getting on a boat and sailing for merry old England. So I brought you a gift.
A gift?
Yes, I knew you were going, so I baked a cake.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Mr. Benny. Oh, what I wouldn't give to go on a boat trip again.
Oh, then you have made a crossing, huh?
3 times.
Oh, Atlantic or Pacific?
Westlake Park.
Oh.
But seriously, I would like to go to England because that's a wonderful place to pick up antiques.
Well, that's right, but Mr. Kitzel, I didn't know you were a collector of antiques.
Collector, in my house, I got the original tent that George Washington used at Valley Forge.
The original tent?
Yeah.
Where did you get it?
War surplus.
Mr. Kitzel, you're joking.
Yeah. My...
Well, Mr. Kitzel, I'm awfully glad you dropped in. While I'm in England, if I see an interesting antique, I'll bring it back to you.
Bless you heart. And Mr. Benny, I nearly forgot something here. I brought you another gift.
Another gift?
A book to read it on the boat. Here.
Well, isn't that nice? That's Jimmy Starr's new book, Heads You Lose. Thank you, Mr. Kitzel.
I wrote something on the inside. Let me read it.
Oh, isn't that sweet? Go ahead.
And we'll hear it after the bottom of the hour break. May 14th, 1950, Jack Benny on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The conclusion follows these messages from your favorite radio station. For a very long time, you've heard me talk about My Pillow, and of course the My Pillow products are fascinating. My slippers, which are on special right now, all of the sheets and the pillows and the pillowcases, and all the wonderful things. But did you know that American entrepreneurs have gotten together with Mike Liddell to form My Store? A whole line of products made by American entrepreneurs, including health products, garden and patio, food and drink. If you're a coffee drinker, check out some of the coffees they have there. Beauty, bath products, personal care, things for your pets. Check out mystore.com. That is mystore.com. And of course, when you use my promo code, which is Wyatt, that's W-Y-A-T-T, you can save yourself a good bit of money on anything there. Check out mystore.com, promo code Wyatt. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox here on your favorite station. The conclusion now of the Jack Benny program, May 14th, 1950, as we hear Mr. Kitzel say,
To Mr. Benny, that old friend of mine, may you always be healthy and 39.
Thank you, Mr. Kitzel.
You're welcome, and good luck on your trip.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yeah, I wish Mr. Kitzel was going on the tour with us. Say, Mary, can you drive me to the airport tomorrow?
Yes, I guess I can, but why doesn't Rochester do it?
Well, I sent Rochester on ahead to Kansas City. He's taking care of some advanced things for me.
Well, I thought your press agent, Steve Bradley, took care of those things.
No, I sent him to Milwaukee. In fact, I heard from him this morning. What a crazy publicity stunt he has cooked up now. He's nuts.
Why, what does he want you to do?
He wants me to be rolled into Milwaukee in a barrel of beer.
No.
Yeah. Then on the City Hall steps, they open the barrel, I jump out, and the mayor blows the foam off my head. I'm not going to do a silly thing like that.
Say, Mr. Benny.
Yes?
Answer the phone.
What? That kid is uncanny. Hello?
I have a long-distance call from Kansas City for Mr. Jack Benny.
Kansas City?
The charges are reversed. Will you accept the call?
Yes.
Do you want me to tell you when the 3 minutes are up?
No.
Look, jerk, get off the phone and put Jack Benny on.
I am jerk. Jack Benny. Now give me the call.
Okay, don't get your Irish up.
Me?
Here's your party.
Thanks. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
Hello, Rochester. So you finally got to Kansas City, eh? How was the flight?
Fine, boss, fine. And believe me, everybody in Kansas City knows you're coming.
Good.
Yes, sir. Your name is on almost every billboard in town.
Almost.
It would have been on every one of them, but I ran out of chalk.
I told you to take 2 pieces.
I did.
No.
And, boss, I got a surprise for you.
A surprise?
Yeah, when you arrive in town, you'll be met by the mayor of Kansas City, the governor of Missouri, and all the important committees.
The governor and the mayor? How did you manage to do that?
I can't tell you on the phone, but if anybody calls you Harry, mumble something about Congress and keep moving.
Harry, gee, Rochester, you think I can get away with it?
I'm not worried about you, but I told him that Mr. Harris was the Secretary of State.
Secretary of State?
I hope they'll go for a curly-headed Atchison.
I knew you'd go too far. Now, look, Rochester, you stop at Wichita like I told you to.
Yes, boss. The Kansas Medical Society is holding a convention there, and 2,000 doctors will be over to see your show.
2,000 doctors in the audience?
Yeah, and you better be good. One of them has a long hypodermic needle.
I'll watch it. But, Rochester, there's only one thing that worries me. This business of being met by the governor and the mayor and me being called Harry. Do you think I can get away with it?
Pardon me.
Huh?
Your 3 minutes are up, Mr. President.
Oh, thank you. Goodbye, Rochester.
Goodbye.
Come on, Mary, I'll drive you home. Ladies and gentlemen, even though we will be out on a personal appearance tour, I'll still be doing my radio program on Sunday. Meanwhile, I hope to see all my friends in Wichita Tuesday night. We'll be in Kansas City Wednesday, Des Moines Thursday, St. Paul Friday, Moline Saturday, and next Sunday night we'll be in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Jack, aren't you going to bring your show to Waukegan?
Mary, I was born in Waukegan. How can you follow that? Good night, folks. Happy Mother's Day.
The character of John L.C. Cervoni is played by frank-fontaine. Be sure to hear Dennis Day and A Day in the Life of Dennis Day. Stay tuned in for the Amos and Andy Show, which follows immediately. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
May 14th, 1950, Jack Benny on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we start a brand new Yours Truly Johnny Dollar story, The Medium Well Done Matter, having to do with seances and fortune tellers and the like. This first episode of the 5-part was originally broadcast May 14th, 1956.
From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
Hi, Johnny. Pat McCracken at Universal Adjustment Bureau.
Hiya, Patsy. What's on your mind?
Had your fortune told lately?
Nope, and I don't think I want to. The last time it came true.
Oh, what was it?
Well, this Madame Gaga went into a transom or whatever you call it, and...
Trance boys, if you didn't know.
Yeah, anyhow, she told me I was going to become an insurance investigator, and I've been stuck with it ever since.
Sad. But now, how'd you like to try your hand as a psychic investigator?
Sure. What do I do?
Drop over, will you?
I'm on my way.
Tonight, and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator...
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Universal Adjustment Bureau, Hartford, Connecticut. Following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the matter of the medium. Well done. Expense account item 1, 115, taxi to the office of Pat McCracken at Universal. I hadn't seen Pat since he'd ruined my Southern California vacation by insisting I tie it in with the Jolly Roger matter in the Lamar case, where my expense account, for some strange reason, came out to a right nice figure. I've even included the case of V.O. that I'd sent him for having handed me those investigations. So I didn't know whether he was going to be nice to me or to rub my nose in the dirt. As it turned out, he didn't know either.
Now, I don't quite know whether this is going to be another soft touch for that expense account of yours, or a completely crazy one, or real rough. Tommy Green seems to think the latter, though I don't see why particularly.
Yeah, who's Tommy Green?
Mid-Eastern Life down in New York. Oh, but just bill me as usual.
Sure, okay.
Now, Tommy says he's run into this sort of thing before, but not on so big a scale. That's why he's worried about it.
Pat, you still haven't told me what.
Oh. Now, one of his clients happens to be a sweet young thing named Carol Sharp, 26 or 7, beautiful, badly spoiled.
Love him that way.
What?
Nothing. Go on.
Yes. She lives alone in a swank penthouse in the East 50s down there in New York. Playgirl. Tommy holds a $110,000 policy on her. Straight life.
Beneficiary?
Her family, mother, and a couple of kid brothers.
No father?
No. The others live over in Ma-Chunk, PA. That's where her father made the dough that keeps her in the penthouse and keeps the others living well in the old family manse.
So, what's the problem? Somebody threatening her life?
I don't know, Johnny. It depends on what you mean by threatening. She's just requested Tommy to change beneficiaries.
What's so unusual about that?
Well, one of them is to be a man named Tony Ricardo for $30,000.
Oh, so she's fallen for the guy and is making the nice gesture.
Maybe. We don't know yet. The other is a so-called medium, Madame Celia something.
I've heard it before. Turn the family fortune over to me and I'll get in touch with dear departed Papa.
That's what it looks like from here. She's being took.
But how can it be any of our business?
Last time Tommy was requested to change a beneficiary to a medium, his hale and hearty young client suddenly turned up dead.
And they pinned it on the medium?
Mm-hmm. Apparently this sort of thing goes on quite a bit. So it has Tommy worried, so he asked for you.
All right, just what's he want me to do?
What do you want to do?
Break out the old crystal ball, Pat, and we'll see. Expense account item 2, transportation, Hartford to New York, and the offices of Mideastern, where Tommy Green turned out to be a mild-mannered, thoroughly likable, successful insurance broker.
Come in, Mr. Dollar. Glad you could make it.
How'd do, Mr. Green?
Sit down, won't you?
Thanks.
I suppose Pat McCracken's told you what's on my mind.
Only that you think one of your clients is being taken for the proverbial sleigh ride by some spiritualist.
As you no doubt know, Mr. Dollar, spiritualism is a recognized, well-established religion.
Sure, of course.
However, as in any other, there are charlatans. And some of these mediums, as they call themselves, take literally millions of dollars every year from people by trickery, by producing weird manifestations that appear to be genuinely supernatural.
Tommy, I know what you mean.
My own mother took a beating from one of those phonies when I was just a kid. You know, promised messages from Father after he died, and at $25 a try.
Wow. No wonder you're suspicious of them.
And especially of one Madame Celia Morgana.
Have you seen this, madam?
No, but I believe you'd better.
Mm-hmm. Have you changed, what's her name, Carol Sharp's policy yet?
No, but I'm afraid I can't stall her much longer.
And you're afraid that once you do change it, Carol ain't going to be long for this world, huh?
It's happened before, Dollar.
Yeah. Well, I can't just barge in on this Madame Morgana, announce that I'm an insurance investigator, and then another... Hey, wait a minute. What's the name of this other beneficiary?
Tony Ricardo.
Yeah, who is he?
All I know is what Carol's told me.
Love affair?
Yeah. He sounds like a playboy. They do a lot of nightclubbing together.
Money?
I don't know.
Family?
I don't know that either.
But he's in for 30 of the 110,000 if anything happens to her.
If we change the policy. How are you going to start?
Well, if this Carol Sharp is all Pat McCracken says she is, this case could have a very pleasant beginning. I stuck around with Tommy Green long enough to listen to him verify what Pat had said about Carol's family, wealth, etc. Take a look at a snapshot of her and get her address. Item 3, 180, taxi to the Bell Towers at 614 East 52nd Street. A magnificent modern apartment hotel at the edge of the East River. Real swank. The place even had its own private docks with several well-kept cruisers tied up and even a small seaplane. Pat, I warn you, this expense account ain't going to be small.
Yes, may I help you, sir?
Yes, you can. I'd like a small apartment for a few days.
Are you alone, sir?
Yes.
Well, we still have a small 5-room penthouse suite for $1,500 a month.
Huh?
With complete maid service, of course.
Oh, of course.
And on a minimum 1-year lease, of course.
Look, all I want is a bedroom, living room type of thing, and I may be here only a week or so.
Oh, well, in that case, I'm afraid there's nothing we can do for you unless... Tell me, sir, do you have any recommendations from any of our tenants?
Look, I'm an insurance investigator. Here, my card.
Oh.
And I want something as close as possible to Miss Carol Sharp's apartment. But I don't want to have to rob Fort Knox.
Private investigator, did you say?
Yeah, that'll do.
Oh, dear. Surely Miss Sharp can't be in any kind of... think what it would mean to our reputation, Mr. Dollar.
Stop worrying, will you? She isn't in any kind of trouble, yet. But for reasons that, they don't particularly concern you, I need to be as close to her as I can.
Ah, what a pleasant thought.
And for the same reason, I don't want her to know what my business here is.
Of course. Believe me, Mr. Dollar, I'm the very soul of discretion.
Good. See that you stay that way. Now, have you got a room or two for me?
Oh, let me see. Now, she's in penthouse A on floor 12. There is a 2-room on 10, very nice, at $325 a week. With complete service, of course.
Okay, I'll take it.
Very well. Just sign this card, please. And, oh, dear, I'm afraid I must have a week in advance.
Oh, sure. What's a measly $325? When the two bellboys who carried up my 2 bags at $1 apiece settled me in 1013, I must admit the place looked almost worth a tab. Tastefully furnished, spit and polished clean, and with a plate glass panorama view of the bustling East River. Yeah, I wish for a moment that I could afford this sort of lodging. First thing I did was telephone to an old pal.
Detective Division, Sergeant Singer.
Hey, look, Sarge, I need a rundown on a dirty crook.
Who's speaking, please?
He's going around acting like an insurance stick, but he's a crook.
Oh, what's his name?
Dollar, Johnny Dollar. And I tell you, that punk is as crooked as they
Don't go
come.
any further. We know all about him. We got word here in New York that we'll put a stakeout on him the minute we spot his hideout.
That copper I can give you.
Good, Johnny. Just where you staying?
Hi, you old reprobate. I'm at the Towers, East 52nd.
The tower? Hey, expense account, huh?
How'd you guess? I want to see you.
In exactly 21 minutes, I'll punch the time clock and be over.
Room 1013.
Right. Oh, and be sure it's with soda.
Easy, boy. Give you any encouragement, you'll want to name the brand of scotch. Item 4, 1220. 1 bottle of scotch and setups for 2.
Sure, Johnny. Knew her from when I was doing a nightclub beat.
And she's lived in town for quite a while, huh?
Yeah, a couple of years at least.
How much do you know about her, Randy?
Not much. She's loaded. Throws her money around like it's confetti.
Yeah, I figured that when I found her staying here. Father left it to her.
Coal miner, wasn't he?
Owned a big colliery in Frankville, Pennsylvania, somewhere near Mauchunk.
Well, it must have paid off good in the old days. But tell me, you want to give me a refill?
Yeah, sure. Ever hear of a Madame Celia Morgana?
I've chased that blousy old phony from one end of the island to the other. I look into the crystal ball, and I see into the past, the present, the future, and into your pocketbook. Yeah, and man, she could. I think she's operating somewhere over on the Jersey side now. Oh,
yeah.
Thanks.
But she's still operating.
Operating with real class. Last time we picked her up and kicked her out.
How do you mean?
Nice apartment over here on the east side. Classy clientele. Hey, is Carol Sharp hooked by her?
Appears so. Just how does she work?
Well, the usual way the phonies do. Goes into a trance, writhes around like a seasick rattlesnake, then gives with the voices.
Voices?
You know, speaks with the tongues of the departed.
Hey, look, where's the money angle in this thing?
Well, she makes like the trances cause her great agony of body and mind. Starts with the pitch about doctor bills. And the more clients can afford, the more they pay.
And they don't get wise?
Yeah, she's smart. Works it like a serial story, you know. Continued next week?
No, I don't know. Brief me.
Well, at each seance, she tells them just enough to whet their appetite for more. Leads right up to the next hot bit of information, has them hanging on every word, then bingo, the trance is over. However, if you come back next week when I recover my strength, so they pay her off and they're back a week later to play games with her again.
I don't know. Seems pretty obvious to me.
Well, that's because you've never attended a seance run by an artist at it. Hey, why don't you?
I think I will.
I'll see what I can dig up for you.
You mean there are still some going on around town?
Some. Dozens, hundreds probably. Kick them out of one place, they move to another, unless you can tie a serious rap on them.
Which reminds me, Tommy Green told me...
Yeah, handled that one myself, of Madame Gabor Charnarsky. Got a sweet old man to sign over his fortune, and had him knocked off. Oh, that's a dirty racket.
Yeah, religion, science, the professions, they all leave an open door to the racketeers, I guess. Okay, set up a seance for me, Randy. And meantime...
Yeah?
Run me a make on Tony Ricardo, will you?
Ricardo?
Yeah, he's the other one Carol Sharp wants to name as a beneficiary.
Besides the medium?
Yeah. Beneficiary of a whopping big life policy.
Okay, good, Johnny. I'll call you later.
While I took my time showering and changing clothes, I racked my brain trying to cook up a smooth way to meet Carol Sharp. Under no circumstances did I want her to suspect the reason behind my interest in her, at least not for the present. Requisite number 1, then, meet the gal. I was just tying my tie when the phone rang. Johnny Dollar.
Randy, Johnny.
Oh, hi, Rand. Set up a date with a medium?
Yeah, for tonight, but that's not what I'm calling about. Johnny, I could write a book for you.
Huh?
On Tony Ricardo, and I don't think you'd like it. You seen him yet?
No, but I will as soon as I can locate him.
Well, if he finds out what you're working on, he'll locate you.
Fine.
Yeah, just be sure you see him first, and that you're carrying a gun.
Thanks, Randy.
Now, here's our star to tell you about tomorrow's intriguing episode of this week's story.
Tomorrow, well, sometimes the best laid plans can take a terrible beating when a lovely girl steps into the picture. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. It is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone, who also wrote tonight's story. Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
From May 14th, 1956, yours truly, Johnny Dollar on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day here on your favorite station. And thank them, please. Support their advertisers. Their kindness and courtesy allow us to be with you each and every time here on your favorite radio station. Miss a day, you don't have to miss a single show. All of our shows are available on demand at classicradio.stream. Classicradio.stream. You can not only stream the shows on demand from there, you can find our podcast sites where the shows are available for download. You can also find our social media links. You can learn about how you can build a classic radio collection of your own. And if you'd like to support us, you can buy me a coffee. The Buy Me a Coffee money helps us acquire additional classic radio collections and maintain our distribution channels. That's at classicradio.stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tell all your friends the greatest radio shows of all time are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station.